We are back with the GameShow Invitational, a best of 3 series between Fiskestanga and Horde Gaming. Well, they didn't tag up for this game, but we know that the other side is going to be Horde Gaming. At least we casters know. Hopefully you as the viewers will also understand that one. But we're here with Fiskestanga having a 1-game lead in this series already. Wasn't super easy for them by any means, in all honesty. In the end, it may have felt like that just because they took a really convincing team fight and just like demolished half of the base. But I still think Horde Gaming can definitely take this to a game number 3 if they just buckle up a little bit. But we're HeflaTV, I'm gonna be Couchor, and once again joined by the lovely Danelie. Do you think we're gonna see a game 3?
We should be able to see a game 3 as long as Horde can stabilize a little bit during the team fights. We both saw how both teams just overextended. They were just pretty much trying to see who could 3-2-2 better than the other team. So if Horde stabilize, play a little bit more safe, then I can actually see this going into a game 3. They have potential. They have this play style. They have the ability to do so up against Fiskestanga. It's just going to be based on execution, because last game Fiskestanga, yes, they tried to over 3-2-2 Horde, but they did have a couple of smart plays where they go for those small pickoffs, and they just pretty much tore Horde apart. So we'll see what Horde can do with the first pick gyrocopter.
By the way, I just have to say that Fiskestanga's manager on chat, he was saying that it was all calculated feed by Stanga.
Oh!
Calculated
righty.
feeding. That's a thing these days, a calculated feed.
Well, I didn't know feeding had to be calculated, but well, if that's what they say, that's what they say, I guess. So with a couple of changes to gyro, though, it was only changed to rocket barrage, wasn't it?
Yes. First of all, in
So
6.84b, I think it was the intelligence nerf, getting down to 19 from 23 base intelligence, and
Yeah.
now the rocket barrage damage got nerfed. Yes.
Yeah, level 4 rocket barrage was untouched, but the scaling for it was just rescaled. So it's much weaker at level 1, 2, and 3, but 4's the same. But I feel it was necessary though. Gyrocopter, he had to be banned out first phase every game, because he had just had so much damage output early game, mid game, and if he had items in the late game as well. So maybe he was a little bit too strong in the eyes of the Ice Frog.
Well, he was too strong, probably not only in the eyes of the Ice Frog, but most of the community maybe even. Just because taking away the cast point from Rocket Barrage, it made it so easy to just pop Rocket Barrage, chase somebody down. All you needed was like a really minor slow from anybody else to help out with that, and just easy kills all around. But he's still strong enough, I think, although I'm interested to see what kind of a skill build he's gonna go for. But Fiskestanga, this time around, they were the ones to pick up the Earthshaker, get the lockdown from that one, and a Shadow Fiend as the secondary one. I haven't seen Shadow Fiend as that popular of a pick to just go for it that early on for quite some time, ever since 6.83 pretty much, but it is still a strong hero, getting the minus armor, so maybe they're gonna go for some additional sources of minus armor, maybe like get a Bristleback to make use of that, maybe a Dazzle once again.
Yeah, they absolutely could go in the direction of the minus armor strat, although we're going to have to see what Horde decides to pick up, because if they can actually catch on to this, or if they go for a draft that that outplays or overplays the negative armor strat, then essentially it's going to be wasted picks for Fiskestanga. Beastmaster is a great asset to have, because you're going to see these ganks coming. So Fiskestanga, they probably won't be going for the negative armor strat, because typically you want to use it as a hit and run kind of surprise tactic. You just go for the sneaks, go for all the negative armor stuff, kill them off before anyone can come and back up. But it's going to be harder when there's more vision in the way of Horde.
Man, vision is just so key in any game of Dota, to be honest, but Beastmaster, it's not like I picked a hero, we win, it's OP or something, although it is extremely strong still. Although Hawk, I think, has also like gotten nerfed little by little. In any case, they have banned out the Darkseer and the Nightstalker. Nightstalker, of course, could have been the thing that can just easily counteract the vision of Beastmaster with his own Aghanim Scepter. Just get an improved version of the Hawk, to be honest. But gonna be banned out with Lion and Scarf Mage removed by Fiskestanga themselves. And of course, panning out support just makes perfect sense since Horde, they're in dire need of them.
It's interesting that Fiskestanga decided to go for those two heroes because those two heroes, one thing they have in common is burst damage. So you have the Lion Finger of Death, nice disables, and then you have the Silence from the Scarlet Mage plus the Mystic Flare. So they don't want to give any sort of high damage burst to Horde, but there is one hero still available which they could pick up if they want to, which is the Lina. So Lina is still available for both sides if they want to go for it. Fiskestanga themselves, they're going to go for a little bit more push in this Leshrac. Oh, we're going to see Keeper of the Light though for Horde. Lots of magical burst for both sides.
I love Keeper of the Light. I mean, saying that he's a good pick is maybe a little bit too much, but if teams can make it work, I mean, I think we even saw a Secret using it in some game at the summit, and just working wonders with it even. I mean, Keeper of the Light can be strong. It's not even that bad like Chakra Magic into like Rocket Barrage, for example, getting a lower cooldown and that, even lower cooldown I should say. It can work out, plus the magic damage is nice, but Fiskestanga, Shadow Fiend is kind of a natural BKB carrier anyway. Leshrac, if necessary, if, at least in a core role, can easily build into one as well if it's needed. Although, yes, there's a Beastmaster that can go for the Primal Roar and still lock you down. Even if you're locked down, but you had a BKB activated beforehand, you just may not take any damage before Gyrocopter becomes huge.
So that's always going to be a possibility. So we'll have to see what Fiskestanga decides to pick up as their fourth hero. Essentially, they got one support in the Earthshaker. They have a mid in the Shadow Fiend or safe lane. You have a Leshrac who can go safe lane or mid if he wants to. And then you finalize it with a Shadow Demon pickup. This is most likely going to be a support Shadow Demon. Very defensive. You can play him aggressive as well. Some decent counter push in the Shadow Poison. Fiskestanga, they've gone for a very magical heavy draft if you take a look at what they currently have. How would you finalize this? They've essentially got an offlane pick last. What would you suggest to them as a offlane?
Well, they may not even like go for a traditional one just because an aggressive tri-lane with Shadow Demon, Leshrac and Earthshaker is quite possible, but well, now the Tidehunter is banned, I suppose. No, Clockwork, not the best this time around, being up against the Gyrocopter and just getting a full face of Rocket Barrage into you. Huh, what offlaners are there even? Centaur, possibly? There isn't that
We
much
got the
to mess with the
Clockwork.
Centaur. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if Clockwork would be the best, like, you just set yourself up with cogs for an Illuminate or just get Rocket Barrage or something. Although, vision-wise, it's nice. Rocket Flare is excellent in just killing off the Hawks, but Nature's Prophet, that is one I did not expect.
Very underplayed, but he can still play in the offlane role, and what a Nature's Prophet does provide is that global presence. So Fiskestanga, they're not going to sit back and farm. They're not just going to go for some random pushing strategy. They're going to go for that hyper-aggressive pushing strategy. So if anyone comes nearby, have the Leshrac, Earthshaker, or Shadow Demon set up, Nature's Prophet TP in, 4-man gank, easy peasy. So Horde, with this last pick, Nature's Prophet, how would they finish up their draft? They've got two supports with no disables. I repeat, no normal disables. They have a Beastmaster offlane, and they have a Gyrocopter as a farming role. I feel like they need more damage.
Well, it depends on how heavily they want to like bet on their Gyrocopter dishing it out in the later stages, but it's definitely not going to be reliable, especially since Nature's Prophet is a hero that rather often builds a Hex, for example. And Fiskestanga, they have a solid amount of lockdown as it is anyway, like Disruption into Split Earth, Earthshaker there to follow up with any spells. So it's going to be definitely somewhat hard, and although they could require some damage, I think some lockdown is maybe also, maybe not necessary, but it would just help them actually get like proper Illuminates in those fights, because at the moment all they have is a Primal Roar, maybe a Gyrocopter to slow them down, or well, you can go for a Pugna. I mean, the Decrep Illuminate combination is sick if you can land it, but this feels just all in-ish, or all inni, I don't know, from the Horde side.
I can't help but feel like the Pugna is just going to completely shut down the Leshrac. A Leshrac without spells does nothing. absolutely nothing. So there's a chance that Joey is going to be rendered completely useless this game unless he manages to tank up and manage to survive the first couple of pot shots from the Pugna ward. But very interesting draft coming out from Horde in the second game. They're down one game. This feels like a pocket strat. We'll see if it actually works out for them.
Man, it's, to be honest, you are one game down. If you lose this one, you are out of the tournament completely, so why the hell not take a just minor chance? I mean, it's not like their lineup is bad in the late game even. They still have the Primal Roar, Gyrocopter can still do just massive amounts of damage and even like 1v5 a team in certain situations. And of course, their high ground defense is pretty damn scary. Call down is there, Illuminators just spam that one out. The thing is though, Stanga, especially having that Nature's Prophet, they may be able to just counter push enough by themselves and have Nature's Prophet push another lane at the same time. Whereas Horde, they don't have that luxury. If they like go for a push, they have to go there at all 5 for the most part.
Yeah, they would actually have to do that. So we'll have to see what happens. We might see a level 1 engagement because you got a lot of Fiskestanga heroes in the enemy jungle, and Horde, they've gone in the other way, so they may end up clashing anyway. So Jolim's going to be the first one to actually reveal these heroes. So Kamikaze are going to be the first one to spot them out. So they see Jolim, they're going to see Joey as well. So Stanga, they have the vision advantage, whereas Horde... Actually, no, Horde has a vision advantage, sorry. Stanga, they're a little bit blind. They don't have that observer ward up on the high ground, and, well, wasted smoke. They didn't even put any wards down. So, unfortunately, no first blood. Actually, we might see it for the first bounty rune.
I'm not too sure if the Keeper of Light had skilled up Mana Leak before or once they saw those heroes. Oh, the disruption comes out, Joey. Can he land the splitter? Oh, yes, he can. Should be an easy kill. Fisher as well, just in case to help out. And Joey is the one to draw first blood, gets himself a bounty rune. And what a way to start the game. And, well, if you're going for an aggressive tri-lane, there is no better way to just start it like this. Leshrac almost level 2 already. Maybe early Arcane Boots, although I'm not too sure if a core Leshrac wants to go for those or not, but... Man, Keeper of Light, all he wanted. But what I wanted to say before was that him going for Mana Leak, it was probably like him maybe wanting to use it for those, for that early engagement, or maybe like high ground Mana Leak somebody, I don't know, but... Now he is not all that helpful in the lane, can't provide mana to anybody, can't harass with Illuminate. So Keeper of Light, for the time he hits level 2, he's just gonna be kind of useless.
I want to make a quick mention. Down bottom we have a very lonely bounty rune, so no one's actually picked that up yet. Yeah, we have a bounty rune down bottom lane.
Blasphemy.
Oh, man.
Top lane though, Inkmunder takes heavy damage. Chen to come in as well, Mana Leak. He didn't want to keep on moving, but the entire creeper was hitting at him. He's gonna need a healing cell, I think, from this, or no? He's gonna wait for those tangos to just do their work. Inkmunder, go for disruption, go for the counter kill, set that one up at least. No, splitter lands into Rebo. Miggy gonna get Mana Leak, but with the lightning storm, they get the slow. Fisher is there as well. Earthshaker does get stunned in the end by the Mana Leak, but Inkmunder does survive, outruns his center who cancelled his TP. But it was all an elaborate bait by the Shadow Demon.
It was all in the plan, but nice setup there from Stanga. They reacted perfectly to the situation, whereas Horde, they're kind of getting ahead of themselves and they're going to do it again. So Joey, he's going to be chased up by a Centaur, and well, we have our Coddle. He's going to be stuck in the in the disruption. Look how much damage he's taking as well. Almost going to drop down, but he's still alive. And Judah, he's by himself up against 3 heroes. And there's a Gyrocopter. What can you really do aside from Flak Cannon? So got one more Flak Cannon charge left. And that's pretty much it. But this top lane, pretty much a disaster for Horde.
Yeah, the one thing that Stanga still needs in this top lane is either a Ring of Passy or Arcane Boots, or even both, to be honest. Just because all of their heroes are extremely mana reliant, and as long as they have mana, they can just keep on killing people. But once they run out of mana, they're not all that threatening. All of a sudden their attacks, well, they're still ranged, so that's nice, but at least everybody apart from the Earthshaker, but they really don't have any kill potential with being just low on mana like that. So that's like one thing that Horde has going for them, but this gen is just now about to hit level 2. And him trying to help this lane early was probably a necessity, but since it didn't work out as intended, it just hurt him.
It really did. If they had the Chen jungling a little bit sooner, then maybe the losses in the top lane wouldn't have been as bad, because you complement it with the fact that someone is farming. But because no one was farming in the top lane and the jungle for that period of time, it's essentially time wasted for the Chen. He wanted to go for kills, and instead of getting a kill, he got killed.
Well, at least looks like Deadmau5 on the Beastmaster is having a pretty good time. He's 17-4 compared to his 7-2 Nature Prophet to chill him. He was just now forced to TP all the way home also. So at least that lane is going well for them, and Beastmaster getting an early start, maybe like an early Blink Dagger, depending on that person or that particular player's just preferences. Oh, top lane, we have Arcane Boost now picked up on Joey. There's the Fish as well. Oh wow, Pika, he's blocked in, or is he? He's trying to eat the Tango but gets split turfed. Lightning Storm and one more attack to get the kill free. 0 on the board. But mid lane is still also fine, 19-6 compared to 14-2, as well as, like I mentioned, bottom lane is winning, so it's not all bad for them quite yet.
Yet. The thing is, though, even though they're winning a couple of the lanes, is it going to be enough to keep them in the game? Because their gyrocopter is being shut down. You need the gyrocopter early, he needs those levels, and with the fact that he's not getting any sort of farm, a gyro with no items as the game goes on, he's useless. Yes, he's got spells to fight early, but he needs those items eventually. And the fact that he's not getting any kind of farm soon, it's making it hard. So that's going to be the setup. They want to try and go after the poor Coddle again, and he does get picked off, finish off with the Fissure. Now, is this going to be troublesome for our Dire side, though? They're taking quite a bit of damage. Looks like they're just going to back up. They brought heroes in. Oh, poor Shadow Demon just having to migrate through the enemy jungle to get out. He might die, though, because it's going to cross paths with Kamikaze on the Pugna.
He does have a disruption though, so they might even turn it around. Never mind, Shadowfiend, a little bit too far away. There's the disruption. He really wants to stay instead of running, but he's gonna be able to escape in the end anyway. If Loki had been just a little bit closer to follow up with the Shadow Races onto a disruption, who is also Soul Catcher. Even if Soul Catcher is level 1, just Shadow Races to a huge amount of damage anyway. But that was just a lot of time spent by the Pugna doing well virtually nothing, and that allowed the Shadowfiend to catch up and even pull ahead.
The fact that there's actually a reason why they didn't want to try and jump on the Pugna. If the Shadow Fiend actually came to try and help the Shadow Demon out, oh god, there's too many shadows. Pugna just pops the Nether Ward, and at this point, the Shadow Fiend doesn't know how many points is put into the Nether Ward, so he's essentially returning the Shadow Raise damage to himself, I think. So it would have been pretty scary for the Shadow Fiend. There is a chance he could die. He is squishy, so just gonna play safe.
Oh, Cholem though might be in a lot of trouble. Does kill the Hawk, so gets a little bit of gold, but there is a Primal Roar, and there is Pika, but oh, never mind, there's no Illuminate even. Okay then, Keeper Flight. So far, effectiveness, I wouldn't say maybe 0, but out of 100, maybe 10.
110. It's just on the back of the fact that he wasn't able to get that first point into Illuminate. Because he's put the first point into Mana Leak and he's got nothing out of it, it's really hurt him as a Coddle. And he could have put a point into Illuminate after the Mana Leak, but then where would his mana pool come from? Illuminate is so mana heavy, you have to have 1 point to Chakra Magic. So Pika kind of put himself into this position because of putting the point into Mana Leak for the potential early fight. So he's gonna have to cope at this point. He might have to jungle.
Well, speaking of jungling, Chen has come into the Radiant jungle. Maybe tries to set up a kill onto Cholem. Well, if the Beastmaster gets a Primal Roar, it's easy, although Beastmaster, he's in the mid lane now, and are they going just for a push? I mean, they have the Pugna after all, maxed out Nether Blast. So the tower, those chunks of damage with a Nether Blast, rather low cooldown also. So I think they're going to be able to get the tier 1 down. There is no glyph anymore. But even if they get this, they still have a long road ahead of them, unless Deadmau5. Never mind. For a second I thought he might be able to chase down the Shadow Fiend, but nope.
No. Not today. Shadow Fiend a little bit too fast for that, but still objective taken down by Horde. So they're slowly taking the objectives. Can they get more though? Down bottom looks like they tried to go for the Nature's Prophet, and unfortunately Chen, he might be in a bit of pickle. Oh, the Beastmaster, they're going to go down to the Shadow Demon in the process, in the mid lane. So down bottom, this action's going to happen. There's going to be the cooldown coming out from Judah. They want to try and go up the Jolem. They will get the kill on the Nature's Prophet, but can they retreat in time? Joey's here, but he's got no mana left, so there's no actual chasing potential, and actually Shadow Demon overextending, going right into Judah with the Rocket Barrage. No points into the rockets. It looks like we do have Horde picking up those two nice kills in Joey. Oh, the next target there, but Judah's actually taking tower damage because no one is able to tank up the tower. So Stanga,
so low, but they can't just go for Joey though. He has Arcane Boots now. There's the Fisher. I don't think the Splitter will be there in time. Lightning Storm is used, but yeah, there's a mana leak as well. Even level 1 mana leak proved to be quite effective for now. But another TP in from Cholem. Judah gets stunned for a second now. Decrypt into Miggy. Does he have a Nether Blast? No, it's on cooldown. Just goes for the life drain instead. But did he cancel it himself probably? Does get the kill anyway. And Bika now, he's going to get chased down by Joey. But Joey, he's in the corner himself. Can he turn things around? Too low on mana to cast anything. But with a magic wand, will stay alive, and with a few more attacks, they do clean up in the end. Although Chen gets the counter kill, although he's going to lose his own life to Cholem as well. Man, just... Who needs mana? You can just right click.
Yeah. Who needs mana when you right click? They lost vision because of the Sprout. Because Pugna's on the other of the team.
I would have thought that the Pugna's just life train keeps on going if you have it targeted already, but...
I thought so too, but unfortunately Sprout says otherwise. But still, if you think about it, fight was won. Trees are so strong. But Stanga won the fight. They got pretty much 5 heroes. Yeah, they got 4 down bottom, 1 the mid lane. Even though Horde got 4, it's just not enough for them to come back yet. They're running a very early game oriented draft compared to Stango, who can go late. And because they're behind like this, it's not looking too good for them. They need to come online sooner. So they're trying to get items. They've got a medallion on the Beastmaster. Any other big items on their team? I don't think so. They got a buckler on the Chen, so mech incoming, but not anytime soon. The timing's going to be really off on this Chen's mech. They need this sooner, but they want to push.
Yeah, in the meantime, on the other side, the items coming out as well. Cholem, he's building towards an Orchid. Does have that single Oblivion stuff for now, though. And there's the cooldown. Probably gonna lose his life. Primal Lord as well. Rocket Barrage maxed out, close to him. Illuminate doesn't even have the time to get close, but they are pushing on their own. Leshrac has picked up a Blastdown recipe, so that's what he's gonna go for. But this time around, it's gonna be a tier 1 going down, and I'm not too sure if Stanga can get the tier 2 themselves.
They can at least bring it down low, which might be their objective, but look at all the heroes and all the damage thrown out to the tower. Do we actually have any more TPs from that bottom lane? We've got Deadmau5 with them. They're going to bring everybody in to defend the tower. So tower is going to drop low, might actually get denied. Ingmund is going to have his mana drained, and he's going to stick in place. Nice vision to keep 2 heroes in place. Disruption to keep the Shadow Demon alive for a little bit longer while the rest of the team escapes. And look at all the damage from the Nature's Prophet ultimate. Chen dropping really low.
There's still Shadow Poison on him.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Oh, ouch.
And Shadow
He faced
Poison.
judgment, alright.
Oh, Gyrocopter might be in trouble as well. There's the Fisher to start things up. Splitter will follow. Lightning Storm, a few more attacks is all they need. Judah stays alive, gets the call down, but in the end, Leshrac is a little bit too much for him to handle. Although Loki Loke slowed down as well by Deadmau5. With the minus armor, they're doing a lot of damage with just the creeps, the Echo Slam, just to stun the creeps. Illuminate, only level 1 still. Yes. Man, really need more points into it.
Oh god, so there's the TP from the Earthshaker, and they really want to get the kill under the Shadow Fiend. Can he actually do TP in time? Oh, actually, axes aren't enough because they're only a level 1 TP attempt though, but he does go down unfortunately. I would have said they should have given the Earthshaker up to get the Shadow Fiend out. So it was interesting for Stanga to go for the TP priorities there, but they lose a bigger hero than they should have.
I have to agree with him. In Shadow Demon, or not Shadow Fiend at the moment, one of the highest farmers. Leshrac still has a little bit more, but Shadow Fiend, he really needs like that next item. So far only has the Aquila as well as the Tread, so maybe a Blink, although I'm not too sure if that's the item he wants to go for. I'd probably just rush a BKB if I was him. So just get something defensive, of course get a little bit extra health from that as well. But they're not in the clear yet, not by a long shot, just because the free cores on Horde side, they're also reasonably farmed. Plus, if they just group up and push, it's gonna be so fast, and that's exactly what they're doing now as well. Illuminate, just Nether Blast to clear the creep wave, and this is for sure gonna be a tier 1. The question is, will they keep on going for a tier 2?
We'll have to see if Stanga is going to actually defend these towers, because for the moment they're trying to farm, but the fact that these pushes keep on happening, they're just constantly team fighting. But down bottom we have the Gyrocopter attempting to kill Jolem, and he should be able to get it with the cooldown as well as Rocket Barrage. Actually, Jolem able to TP out in time. One more right click, not enough for Judah. So unfortunately, that's going to be the Gyrocopter's time wasted. Up top though, Miggy has been spotted out, but no blink daggers or anything to really catch up. There's the Fissure. Actually, never mind, he gets roared instead. No time for Fissure, and that's going to be the Earthshaker going down for Stanga. Rest of the team's coming in though. John TPing in through the tree line. He has a Sprout available, but unfortunately can't catch up to the heroes because they've already dispersed down towards the river. They get one there. They get the Beastmaster. Mana drain onto Ingmunda, so he's not able to do anything else. Up top though, they gave up. So 1-for-1 Beastmaster for an Earthshaker. Bit of a win there for Stanga.
Of course, I don't think Miggy needed to die there as well, but the Primal Roar being used probably gave Stanga the necessary boost in morale to just keep on going with the fight, just force it to really have Cholem TP in aggressively also. And also Inghunder, he just really solo killed the Beastmaster. I think it was 4 stacks of Shadow Poison, plus of course Soul Catcher, and then the ultimate Demonic Purge being used. And look at how fast they got the tower down themselves. Joey up to 9 Blaststone charges. With the tower going down, Cholem has the second Oblivion Staff and just needs the recipe next for the Orchid. And if you have the Orchid, which is the like primary target? Do you use it on Chen or Pugna, or is it just situational?
It's going to be situational. If they can actually get the Orchid onto the Beastmaster before he roars, that's going to be a long time for Deadmau5 to attempt to even do anything in the fights. A silenced Beastmaster provides you nothing. Same can be said for your Pugna and Gyro, but just getting rid of a potential roar is big. The same thing could be said for cooldown. If you can prevent those big spells from going down and you can kill the heroes in time, great. That's going to be a big asset on the enemy team gone. So Orchid is done. They had a bit of a scouting mission with the Keeper of the Light, but will he actually survive? Fissure going to connect onto 2, but it disconnects the Shadow Fiend and he just TPs out straight away. He's actually really afraid. Horde though, looks like they are going to continue on with the Roche attempt, but looks like Stanga has caught on. They're going to bring heroes in. They're going to bring in the Shadow Demon first, and best part with running a Shadow Demon is he can just throw the Shadow Poison in, and that's when Horde has to decide, do they stay in there and potentially stack charges, or do they have to disperse? So that's going to be the poisons going in.
Well, they're gonna have to back off, but there's the silence on the Keeper of Light. Cholem already had the Orchid. He's gonna pop his ultimate. Miggy, nice destruction before he goes down. Pika will survive for now. Miggy just wants to get the Echo Slam, gets it onto free as well. Deadmau5 gonna lose his life shortly after. Not enough for the send back. Joey though drops low, as does Loki. Look, I think that was his Requiem into the Nether Ward, but still, he does survive. They clean up 2 of the core heroes, although Pugna survives with just a hair of health. Although Cholem wants to get the kill. I think he's going to get at least 1. Yes, silence onto Ribo. And KMKZ just pops his decrep on himself. Joey Splitter a split second too late. And still 3 heroes down, and that is Roche dares to take.
That was a big win for Stanga. Horde, they got a little bit greedy just trying to hang around for the Roche pit. They thought they were able to take it down quick enough, but Stanga, they just get there in time, and unfortunately they're going to lose Beaker on the Keeper of the Light. What can you really do when you're on a level 6 Keeper at 16 minutes into the game, running any Tranquil Boots, any Belt of Strength? They're very squishy. Your horse is not able to protect you.
The Keeper of Light just hasn't had the greatest game. Although, in the meantime, Deadmau5 doesn't have a Primal Roar yet, so Joey is gonna be fine, but up to 12 Blaststone charges, having level 11, level 2 Pulse Nova, things are definitely looking good for the entirety of Stanga, because if you look at the graphs, you can see them just kind of skyrocket upwards. 6k net worth, a little bit extra maybe even for now. XP more or less the same, but well, I do like Horde's just persistence. Just gonna go back to Roche Pit, or are they? Or was Pugna just aggroing it for fun?
I think they might be baiting Stanga, making them think that they're attempting to do Roche, and maybe they're going to try and go for a bit of a bait. Pugna, they're just going to go for the decrep onto Ingmunda, but there's the purge onto the Pugna. Pugna is a squishy hero. They're going to pop the Soul Catcher. Will they commit to the kill? Look at how much damage Pugna is taking. He's going to sit in the corner. He goes down to the Shadow Fiend. Now, Roar has been popped though, but unfortunately not able to capitalize on it because heroes are not nearby, so Deadmau5 probably going to be a Deadmau5. Being chased up by Miggy. No blink or anything. He's going to have to pop his poor Necro Book, but they're only level 2 Necro Books, I think.
It's only level 1 even. So
oh, level 1.
Even worse. Oh, well, we do have Chen finally getting himself a mech, but it really feels like Stanga, they have plenty of damage. The one big thing is though that Stanga need to be wary of is the Nether Ward. Up against Leshrac, up against Shadow Fiend as well with the Requiem of Souls and a couple of those raises possibly. They can still do quite a bit of damage. Inghunder, he's tanking up Roshan, gonna get called out on his face. Mech is used in the meantime though on Loki. But there's another blink there, this time around picked up on the Nature's Prophet, and with the Fisher just holding away the dire side, it's gonna be a Leshrac. One of the better heroes together with like a Storm Spirit to make use of the double mana pool.
And the fact that he can just come back into the fight battle ready is great. It's not like one of those carries where if you pop an ultimate and then you die with the Aegis, you don't have that spell anymore. So they're going to jump right onto Judah. There's going to be the blinding light, but that's not going to save him. Look how much damage the Keeper of the Light took as well. He wasn't even in the middle of the Requiem of Souls, so all of a sudden in the backline, so Joey doing whatever he can to Kamikaze, and that's actually going to kill off the Pugna as well as the Beastmaster and the Chen. Buyback coming out from Judah, but there's the GG call from Horde. They concede. Oh god, Stanga taking this in a 2-0 sweep, and that was a 18-minute GG as well.
Yeah, there was probably like a minor chance for them to make a comeback in the late game, but for that they really needed to take things a little bit slower, just start farming up and everything. But Stanga, they were a little bit too far ahead. I think just going for Roshan or losing that Roshan fight was a little bit too devastating for them, and just then hanging around in the same area. It's just their nature of the lineup. They needed to win earlier or make more happen early to just make their lineup work.
So I'm actually surprised that Ancient hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah, it's gonna drop eventually, just because all 5 are disconnected, but it might take a little bit of time.
You hope so.
Top lane is already pushing in, so that's nice. But guys, this does it for today then. Only this single best of 3 here, but Stanga, they advance to the next round where they will be facing Burden United, with the winner of that best of 3 series advancing to the playoffs. Top 6 get actual prize money for this tournament, so if you're in the top 8, there's not too much more to just go to get even a little bit of prize money. I think the 5th and 6th place get like $450, $500, something like that, so it's still much better than you can get for most tournaments. Like, most tournaments are like top 3 only and that's it. So I really like that format here. But guys, this has been the GameShow Invitational, sponsored by Hitbox, eBattle, Tesoro, Silicon Power, Plantronics, and the main sponsor being Asus here, of course. So shout out to them for making this happen. A kind of a nice prize pool, $15,000 for tier 2 teams. It's definitely appreciated. But Dani, do you have any last words?
Not really that much, aside from the fact that Stanga, they played very solid. Horde, first game it looked a little bit it looked okay. First game looked very good. Unfortunately, they lost to Stanga just because of outplays. Second game, awkward draft, and the fact that their draft was so strange and they did not get the advantage that they wanted really shut them down. So Stanga deserved their wins. Horde, I know they can play a little bit better, but maybe they were just a bit on tilt after that first game.
Yeah, might have been that, but I mean, it still wasn't like a completely horrible loss or anything. Well, game number 2 was definitely more one-sided, but oh no! Ingmundur, no, don't do this. I get to see an Aghanim Scepter and a Shadow Demon, but it's in a like completely useless situation. I've seen it, I think, once before when it first came out, but that was also like the team was already winning. He got it, but never got to use it because the game ended like almost straight after. Cholem now even gets it desolated to just kill the ancients
just
faster.
To speed up the process.
Oh,
Yep.
man. I can't say I've seen a situation like this before. Just very rare.
Ingmunder really wants to kill these heroes. Oh god, 4 stacks.
How many stacks does
5
he need?
stacks.
Oh.
Oh.
Soul Catcher.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting lots of fantasy points. That's awesome.
If only it counted.
Yay! Hype!
Yay!
So yeah, this was it, guys. We will be back. I don't even know which day. I'm gonna check if we have any game schedule. Though I don't think we do. So yeah, you can check us out there on Twitter. Couchor for me, Danelie Cast, like she smartly pointed out. I have no idea how the tool works. I'm main casting myself too often to have time to tinker with such things.
Oh, it's very fun. You play with them one day.
So yeah, we don't have any other games for this tournament scheduled yet, but there are bound to be some. But other than that, we will have, I think, maybe the MPGL Class S game tomorrow. We'll see, guys, but if you want to know for sure when we're going live, you can always check out HeflaTV on Facebook and Twitter. It's HeflaTV on both. Rather easy to follow, really. And well, with this, once again, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. and just see you another day. And now, just a few songs to finish the stream.
GG.